Alright. Think everything should be going so well and dandy. Let me quit. What the hell is this emoji I'm trying to find on my phone? I know I had it before. Alright, I think this might be it. And yes, I know it's a Thursday and usually no limits happens, but I'm just trying to get majority of all shows underway, and then we'll be dealing with the schedule because as of right now the schedule is still fucked up as it already is. So apologies in advance. I also need to figure out how to link my new Twitch account onto here so I can do some streaming things. But I will figure it out eventually, I think. Alright. I think we should be up and running. But if not, I am going to cry. Alright, I think we should be ready to go. Let me just one more. And then we're gonna get this show underway. Let me pull up match cards. Alright, give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We should be underway in a moment. Alright, sorry for that long pause. I had to do something. And by doing something, I mean take a phone call for whatever reason. But with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EWL Onslaught, streaming to you live from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. And here we are kicking off the show with some tag team matches in the form of the C Twins taking on the tag champions, the Media Outcast, in this non-title match. This is actually the first time that the EWL have went to Intuit. Now, last time they were in Los Angeles, they were in the LA Clippers / LA Lakers arena, but now they are in the Intuit Dome. Well, I already asked Devon C on Twitter what exactly are the entrances for D2, and this is literally what he said. It is A-Town Down Under, and everything is the Usos. So, to be blatantly honest, I don't know why, but it kind of works. Well, it kind of works on the characters. But we're not here to have a conversation about cause. As a matter of fact, we are here to have a
accompanied by Diana Halls, the women's tag team.
And yes, I know I forgot to do this. But by EWL Gridlock, their entrance should be all set up.
The Social Outcast.
So there you see the Media Outcast, that being your women's tag team champions you see right before you. Also, towards your very left, you can see the third member being Diana Holmes, whereas she will be out on ringside showing support for the Media Outcast, and hopefully no turmoil goes down in the ring. Now, if I remember correctly, well, that these four individuals that are in the ring have actually fought against each other, or have actually fought in the same company, well, in the past. Now, I could be wrong, or I might be right, but who knows? Let me put, well, both sides of my headset on, but now, go from Elite Winters for driving, but Eke ran into a corner, trying to hyper-extend, I want to assume, the left arm, and now going for a face lock into his corner territory, bouncing off the corner, and going for, I think that was a running foot wash, I could be wrong. There's a combo from Elite Winters, countered by XJ Ray, utilizing the pretty much her quick speed and resiliency. Well, against her opponent here tonight. And now wait a second, roll up by SJ Ray as they kick out of nothing. But so far, some type of backflip into a DDT by Miss Ray here. And now looking to go for it again. I mean, one for the money, two for the show, am I right? SJ possibly in a bit of trouble now for Malik, but they were all bringing her back down to earth. But a powerbomb takes place, and there you saw Rebecca Stark trying to request a hot tag of her teammate, but Malik is not letting her, well, get the tag. But so far, it is so good here in this sold-out Intuit Dome here in LA, but now Malik into the corner. I don't know what SJ Ray thinking of here, going back into the corner, immediate clothesline, snapmare, and somewhat of a hair pull. Of course, missing the rear leg drop. SJ, however, still makes up for it with a combo and DDT to finish it on cover. And it's a kick out of one. Now from the lead, trying to get the tag in for Dejante. Tag made, and here comes Rebecca Starr. I'm not sure if Malik Winter know about it, but I want to assume he does. But now off the rope, a bit of a throw, and nice cartwheel into a drop kick was seen by Rebecca Starr. And now Starr is going for a pin and trying to at least get a little bit of style points within it. I mean, style points are obviously welcome here, but not sure would that be a good idea. Well, against the opponent, almost as, well, how do I mark her? Almost as just as well collected as for the media outcast. But now, go for SJ Ray, rolling, Malik runs it over, taking into the mid-back area. That's probably going to inflict a lot of pressure. And all that just for a simple 2 count. Now SJ Ray going for the rear leg drop, with a rear springboard leg drop, I should say. Now into a roll with their other knee connected and watches to the neck. Well, it looked like the neck. Wait a second, roll up by SJ Ray. And the kick out at 1 still. There you saw Dejante trying to request for a hot tag of some sort, but the hot tag is denied. Now that, I never experienced any broken tag matches. The only match type that was broken was the Royal Rumble matches, which apparently those are fixed, but I haven't tested them out, nor will I ever. Anyway, big thrust kick, well, by Malik Winter. And now, for Malik looking to try and go to work on Rebecca Starr, the other half of the women's tag team champion. Now, for Rebecca Starr seeming to fight back with everything she has, a massive kick, well, not a massive kick, and Rebecca Starr seeming to feel the energy of the crowd, but doesn't know about Dejante being tagged in. Here he comes for running, Des press and mounted punches will ensue. I mean, that's what you do get for taunting, but now for Tope, well, by Dejante. Oh, that's been happening since 2K24. I really don't know what causes it for it. It doesn't bother me at most. As long as this long tag team match ends, then it really doesn't matter. Anyway, that for Dejante Winters, I wanted to assume I'm pronouncing the in-ring name correctly. But now, whatever SJ Ray trying to go for, I believe that would have been a Russian leg sweep. I quickly won. Now, making the roundhouse kick, but the other kick ended up connecting. I believe that was a Russian leg sweep or something. I don't know why the Russian leg sweep. I'm sorry. Now, tag made for SJ being Ray, trying to at least lift up Dejante with all of her available strength, and he just can't, or somehow. And of course, that won't stop SJ Ray. Apparently just laying weight onto Dejante. The other half of the Chiefs wins, and now going to be Outcast looking to try and do a bit of teamwork to make a dream work. However, for Winters, it's not letting it happen. Massive super kick by SJ Ray. Cover. Wait a second, here comes the lead to save her brother, well, from losing the match. So if I'm looking at this correctly, SJ Ray had that look in her eyes. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing. It's time for the Church Destroyer. The Church Destroyer on Dejante Winters. Cover. And it's a 2 count. You can hear from the Dome Tag Team Wrestling. That is correct. I mean, it is kind of cool that we are starting out with Tag Team content. Now for Dejante, clearly just somewhat bulldozing SJ Ray out of distance, and a double tag made As for both Malik Winters and Rebecca Starr, now made illegal inside of the very ring. Now for Malik, not looking to take any second chances. First, well, not first stump, but a stump. Go to the back of the neck. And you can just hear, well, from the crowd, ladies just chanting out ski. You have to realize that for Malik Winters, well, one of his uttered personas, you know, that ski, and actually, as a matter of fact, there you can see him do it now. Well, as I just mentioned on commentary, as he just continued to do his ski taunt, well, in ring. I have a feeling he was probably listening to what I was saying. But there's a little bit of a surprise there. Now, Rebecca Starr wisely, well, removing herself from the ring, tries to at least get a hold of the Dante, which she does. And for the outcast leg drop, well, I'm going to assume that's the move, but covered and Elite will break up the pin, but the ref being caught in a crossfire. Not sure was that supposed to happen. Well, but now Rebecca Starr realizing that the ref is down, looking to try and take advantage and take down both Speedbutters. But wait a second, roll up by DeJounte. Well, but the ref was there too late. I don't know what went down. Good throw by Rebecca Starr going off the top rope, but missing the target last second. After DeJounte, well, looking not to take any chance, a massive right hand. I believe that was the right hand, but here comes SJ to save her teammate from losing the match. It's almost like he just came out of nowhere to break up the pin. As a matter of fact, jumping drop kick. Well, takes down Rebecca Starr. And DeJounte obviously feeling that adrenaline will coursing through his veins. But now here comes SJ. Pretty much, well, with a setup cutter. I guess everyone is just feeling it here for Los Angeles, California. As a matter of fact, well, SJ will pretty much being from California herself, well, in the fact of San Jose, but never mind that. From the leak, tried to go for a pinfall. Rebecca Starr dared to break up the pin. SJ is trying her absolute hardest to stay into this matchup against Malik Winters. Tag made, and DeJounte now made the legal man running senton to the center of the body. That gotta hurt. Now DeJounte looking for pretty much a take to the sky. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but here it comes for a falling clothesline. I thought it was going to be a straight dive. Now DeJounte on the apron. What is he looking for? I guess it probably would have been a fade, but there's the second one to the back of the head. The last person we've seen use that move was happened to be Sky, who was part of the EWL roster during, well, its starting year. Now, the heavy right hand of DeJounte putting out SJ Ray, cover, and SJ managed to beat the 3 count just by a millisecond. Well, I think that might have been a millisecond or a fraction. I really don't know. So now, SJ realizing that she might have an opportunity on her hands, running forearm into the corner. And to be honest with you, if I was SJ, I would take, well, any opportunity that your opponent would to have like its weakness exposed, I would take it. But granted, I do understand where SJ is coming from. She wants to weaken her opponent first before going for the kill. And now, Rebecca Starr, I want to assume, tried to go for, I think it was a pile driver, but didn't have enough strength to fully lift up DeJounte. Or possibly DeJounte refusing to let it happen. Now DeJounte just going to work on Rebecca Starr on the outside. Well, have to be mindful of the ref count here, but going for a cross flash onto the outside, just flattening for Rebecca Starr. And I don't like the look into Dante's eyes. It looks like, well, as a Dutch, he's looking to fly here. And now just targeting XJ Ray, where he should be targeting the opponent onto the outside. Never mind. And he actually is realizing that XJ Ray back in the ring, running forearms connect to his face. And now, Dante looking to combine just a flurry of moves, gets put down. I want to assume the brains of the media outcast. And now, from the Elite Winters, the players try and shoot for the kill. There is the knee to the side of the face. And that would possibly put lights out for Rebecca Starr. However, only taking out a 2. Countered by Rebecca, only to be, well, declined. Well, by Malik. Just a back and forth action between the two. But now, Rebecca Starr able to lift up Malik. Well, takes him onto the top turnbuckle and throws him to the side like a bag of garbage of some sort. Now Rebecca Starr realizing that she had the opportunity to get this win for the media outcast. Utilizing, I wanted to do a move from Malik's playbook at one point. Well, but now, putting Malik into a corner. I think we know exactly what time it is. Tag made to XJ Ray. As you've seen this from last week, we called this the Outcast leg drop off the top rope. Covered by XJ. If the ref can get there, and it's a kick out of nothing. I think that was the ref's fault, but for XJ, realizing that, well, there's no second chances. She needs to get this win if she wants, well, if the Outcast wants to stay on top. However, from Elite, with that running knee, might just put out XJ. So now, from Elite, trying to wrap the arm around, going for somewhat of a ripcord knee strike. I think that was a ripcord. I could be wrong. Cover, and the Speed Twins gets the victory. I just realized I don't post show results. Oh, fuck. If anyone's in the Discord server, can someone do match results after the show? Like, I will highly appreciate it. So after that exciting, well, opening matchup, for our next matchup looking to take place here would be the likes of Tempest University taking on the team of Samantha Bay, and get this, her so-called boyfriend, Impulse. So I'm kind of curious on how that will play out in the match. Although Impulse himself say that he doesn't want anything to do with Samantha Bay in terms of relationship. So it's kind of like he is a lone wolf in this day and age. But we will see. And of course our brand new, well, free cam, well, cameras used on the entrance ramp. Impulse looking for it, and it's time to go to work here in Los Angeles.
Is a tag team match set for introducing first from Charlottesville, Virginia, weighing in at 235 pounds, the Triple Crown Champion,
Impulse. Well, with that EWL, well, Triple Crown or Universal Championship around his waist, he is ready to dig out some pain. And by pain, we mean a title defense. Like, this man has done, well, unspeakable things inside the ring to the point where we're kind of a little bit skeptical of whether we could call this man a future Hall of Famer or just the one that got away. But whether you want to boo him or cheer him, this man will have busted his ass day in and day out just to get to where he is today. And his partner would say otherwise.
And her partner from San Diego, California, Samantha Bay.
And this woman here, and for those that do not remember, but allow me to give you a bit of a backstory. This woman here is Samantha Bay. This woman had pretty much came onto the scene in the women's division almost out of nowhere. Well, pretty much almost the same way that Cassidy Walker ended up showing up within the EWL roster. Because, a little bit of a story time for you, pretty much she showed up as a part of Backstage, only for weeks later to have her first televised match debut, in which she actually did manage to win the hearts of many fans, and including multiple people backstage. And some even say online that Samantha Bay could have been the next Impulse if you really think about it, because they do tend to act the same and wrestle the exact same way at times. Their opponents would say otherwise, though. And I think I see a whole row of Tempest University right here tonight. One of the fastest rising universities in wrestling to this very day. Of course, the woman holding what I want to assume, well, a miniature bandana, that being, well, Lori Gabriel, also known as the coach. Well, the flag bearer was, well, the flag bearer, Mark Taylor, well, or Mark Tyler, whatever. And obviously the man that does have his shirt off and running around like a complete maniac would be Jeff. But if I were to tell you, don't sleep on both brothers. They know how to get the job done, as seen last week. There you see Impulse, and there you see what I want to assume is Mark. As both men are starting out here tonight. Here goes Impulse, starting things off with a little bit of a cutter, which gets at least hype up the crowd here. So there's a slap and they're back and forth. Now, granted, after Impulse being the current Triple Crown champion, tag made to Samantha Bay almost immediately, and hits in the midsection, making, well, not well, for Samantha Bay to be illegal here. But there's one thing we should start to question about is the Samantha Bay's choice of attire. Now granted, she said that the attire was pretty much was the same exact attire that she had worn when she had the tryout match on televised. But ever since, well, she was told that she had to make some small and minor improvements to the gear. Hence the reason why you actually see her wearing black, well, pretty much a blacked out trunk underneath of her attire. Now, the question is, why? Well, she said, just don't ask questions that you don't want answers to. And we said, okay. So now, Mark Tyler pretty much going for like a running pump forearm into his corner, just seemingly humiliating, well, Samantha Bay. However, not going for it. Now, not trying to sound weird or anything, but if you want to look on the back, well, of Samantha Bay's bra, you can see there is a writing on the back saying legend, where the first thing that should have said is future legend, because Granted, Samantha Day does have a bright future ahead of her in terms of matches, potential title reigns, pay-per-view appearances, all of it. So, honestly, she thinks she is already a legend in her own book. But for what we know of, her story is just beginning. And here at the EWL, we are very excited to see where her career will end up taking her. Who knows? It could probably take her into Hall of Fame territory. Maybe. But anyway, back focusing onto the match, as you guys see for Impulse and Lori Gabriel, now made legal. Pretty much the battle of the man of 1,000 masks and the coach. Also, I would want to say that for next week, well, either next week or, get this, either next week or on Saturday for EWL Gridlock, it already has been made official by Brittany Turner that one of the matches will feature a Shark Cage match? Huh? Okay, first of all, it's not even Shark Week, and second of all, a cage match on the first episode of Gridlock? Sign me up! Now the question is, who are the two opponents that will be locked inside of this quote-unquote Shark Cage match? Well, we're just gonna have to find out, well, either next week or tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, either next week or Saturday. But you get the idea. And I also got word that also showing up either next week or on Saturday will probably we will see the likes of, and I hate myself for saying this, but the so-called Vanilla Baby of NKPW and the manager of the Speed Twins will potentially showing up. Now, we would like to release more info on who they are, but that would just spoil the surprise, right? So I say, keep the guesses coming, because your answer will be already revealed in the coming days. Now, the Impulse, I believe we're launching in some sort of cloverleaf leg lock of sorts, but I could be wrong. And now, hit to the midsection, bit of a wake-up call, or no, my bad, that would be called the Psycho Slam. And we have an official name for whatever move that is. Into the corner, going for the champion, now for the coach. Well, as he does want to give for Impulse a few corners on how to properly fight in ring, but Impulse says that he already knows what he's doing. Now for Lori Gabriel, just showing off her stuff here, but now trying to attack. I want to see both hamstrings of Impulse. Remember, well, back in the day of the suplex through a table and land the back of his leg first on the edge of the table, presumably was tearing his ACL and MCL. Luckily that didn't happen, but Impulse was unable to, well, he was still able to walk, yes, but he was unable to sprint in ring. But somehow he managed to make it work. After Impulse, as you see him now, he is currently healed, covering now onto Mark, and kick out at 1. Now for Impulse, pretty much taking one of the already existing teams at Tempest University and slam them back down to earth in the most heaviest way possible. But now for Impulse, pretty much trying his absolute hardest to win this match by any means necessary. There was the corner drop kick from Mark. Tag made to the coach, Lori Gabriel. There you see watching on ringside, Jeff Tyler. But now Impulse trying to at least finish off this matchup by any means necessary. There's the knee by the coach and the axe kick to the back of the head, putting down the champion, covered by the coach. kick out of 2 and she just off for Samantha Bay, attempting to get into the ring and forcefully break up the pin, but Impulse had told her backstage before their match saying, look, I don't need your help, just let me do my thing and we will be fine. But for Samantha Bay saying that, Fluffy, you're gonna need my help. Hell, you're gonna need some people's help in terms of their matches. I guess we might just see that here for Roy Gabriel tried to give him the university's backhand. And I think that's what it was called. But now, tag made to Mark Tyler. And now involved with the roll through and the flying forearm was connected to the face of Mark Tyler. Pretty much the so-called young, prodigy within the university, but now the Impulse looking to go for the tag with Samantha Bay. I like what they're going with, but a bit of an alley-oop to dropping Mark Taylor. Well, not Taylor, but Mark Tyler onto the ground. Now for Samantha, going for a running power slam, seeming to work out in her favor. And with Mark wisely rolling out of the ring, but you also see that for Lori Gabriel watching on, knowing that she can't do anything for Jeff to watch and observe. Same thing going for Jeff. If he were to try and interfere with the match, well, this match would have ended in a disqualification. So of course, well, Jeff was watching the match, well, not watching the match, but also keeping his distance away from the opponent. Well, and for both competitors, need to be aware, well, of the countout, and which both competitors are aware as they manage to get back into the ring before 10. But now, with Samantha Bay going for an attempt of a disaster kick for missing the target, hilariously, if I do say so myself. And now they're running drop kick. Well, Samantha Bay, they used to pretty much just see her taunting to the hard camp side, but facing the consequences in terms of the coach. So now, Lori Gabriel placing Samantha Bay onto the corner and just didn't try and use the rope to try and choke the life out of her, which doesn't work. And hell, you can even ask Impulse the last time that worked on a tag made. Now Samantha holding Lori Gabriel in place for Impulse just to give her a boot to the stomach and a knee to the face. The last thing is out. And even before the ref could count, the pin had been broken up. And I think we just saw the referee just give, well, Mark a warning of some sort to not do that again. Okay, for Mark, he would have a total of 2 warnings. But the 2 warnings are already met, and he'll be kissing himself goodbye, and it will cost the match. So now, Lori Gabriel looking the way down for Impulse with a Pulse Driver 2.0 out of nowhere. Covered by Impulse to secure the win for the team. And Lori Gabriel kicking out at, I want to assume, a 2.9. Now for Impulse, wasting no time, there's the slap and the lariat connect. So now for Impulse, tired of the BS, tags in was Samantha Bay. Now for Samantha, very much looking to put away the coat. And now taking the grab of what Samantha Bay called it, the Radengan Driver. Covered now by Samantha Bay, and she will get the win.
Here are your winners, Samantha Bay and Paul.
That's Samantha Bay getting the victory for this somewhat of a tag team, I should say so for my damn self. Well, but now it is time for a debut match. Well, it's time for a debut match between, I want to assume, a not high flyer, but she is a high flyer, but technically as I'm looking through the background, that this high flyer pretty much has a direct history in everything. It also says that this woman here had not only wrestled in the US, but also wrestled in the UK. Mainly, she wrestled in the UK and pretty much earned a big following. And get this, a lot of people started calling this woman here, Jessica Dean, a female Will Ospreay in disguise. And just from looking at her attire alone, it kind of reminds me of Will Ospreay. Well, but you have to realize this is the televised and in-ring debut of Jessica Dean. So we will see exactly what's all the hype about and what is, well, not what she's capable of, but what can she bring to the table. And people, I mean, almost immediately started making up dream matches for Jessica Dean in terms of fighting what was our Cruiserweight champion, Allison Isaac, Paige Bailey, or Jennifer Smith. And a lot of people are saying they would love to see with Jennifer Smith and Jessica Dean mix it up in ring. But before we can continue with that, here comes Reese Logan. Now, for those that are unaware of Reese Logan, technically she's technically considered as like the human, well, pretty much as a one-woman wrecking crew, well, inside of that ring. Of course, with her making her debut into the SWA with the faction consisting of Amir Fatu and, surprisingly I am mentioning his name now, Jeremiah Fatu. Pretty much these, well, the three have terrorized, well, both the men's and women's divisions everywhere they go. Second their music hits, where their opponents will already be filled to the brim with fear. But now, with Amir Fatu, we're doing his own thing in his division. Same thing going for Reese Logan. And as for her, a lot of people are saying, pretty much in Reese's eyes, well, she doesn't believe in tribal chiefs, head of the table, enforcers, MFTs, none of it. She only believes in one thing and one thing only. Getting inside of that ring, making a complete name for herself, and leave. And I have a feeling that Jessica Dean is going to find the absolute hard way on why you should never will provoke Reese Logan. And they have a back and forth pin to start things off. Now, I wouldn't suggest that Reese Logan is a high flyer because obviously she's more of a grounded opponent if you get everything I'm saying. So for Reese Logan to attempt to put away Jessica Dean wouldn't actually be hard, but it would be considered, well, an average Thursday night for her. Like, this woman means business. A lot of it. Now, Jessica Dean trying to at least close the line with Reese Logan, but knowing what Reese Logan's heritage, it seems like that she's just tanking most of these moves, like she's just like a human riot shield of some sort. So, unless you have the right weapons, well, unless you have the right weapons or bullets to take down that shield, so you might just earn yourself a fighting chance against Reese Logan. And for Jessica Dean, pretty much just realizing that she may have fucked up in terms of fighting, well, I will say this first, of this one-of-a-kind, well, women's wrestler. But I will say this, well, in terms of accomplishments for Ruth Logan, her and Jade Logan, her tallest sister, they have recently made their appearance in NKPW against DIY and put on a legitimate clinic, of course, winning that match by submission. As a lot of people within NKPW have been put on high alert when these two are around. And with their first match in that company already in the books, Lord knows what their current goals for within that company really is. And for those that do want to check out NKPW, I recommend hitting up Prince Griffin on Twitch. Well, live, I want to assume, I think on Saturdays. I don't know the schedule, but you get the idea. So now, Jessica Dean looking to try and take matters into her own hands, which pretty much I think she called it the Angel Cutter. I don't think it's completely true or false on that one. And she said that move did involve a bit of trial and error. And now, Jessica Dean going onto the top rope, looking to fly here, or not so much really, looking to try and take things easy. Well, against the Samoan, that being for Ruth Logan. Because obviously for Jessica Dean, as she tries to face off against Logan at the start of the match, she realized exactly how tough and fierce she can really be. So of course, for Jessica Dean, realizing that she had to proceed with caution. But now, and I don't think this is a good idea from Ruth Logan, going for a superplex off the top onto the outside. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but whatever works. Now for Ruth Logan just pretty much just toying with Jessica Dean here. I'm not sure if this is actually in a debut match against pretty much, I want to assume, like a complete killer within the women's division. But now for Jessica Dean, looking to take flight into a well-executed frog splash onto the outside, restarting the ref count, I should say. So now, Jessica Dean being just thrown across the ringside, as now Ruth Logan entering back into the ring, just staring a hole down Jessica Dean. But now, Ruth Logan now pretty much ready for to pick on the afterburners and go straight after Dean. However, Jessica Dean not letting it happen, trying to go for a super angel cutter, but onto Ruth Logan. Covered now by Dean. As a kick out of 2. So as it's going to take more than that to put down Ruth Logan for a massive running drop kick to the face. And now, well, only one will know, the second Ruth Logan roars at the crowd, it will be lights out for her opponent in just under a few seconds. He's here! That being the pop-up Samoan drop. Well, pretty much a popular move and yet a devastating move within Ruth Logan's full arsenal, as she most definitely relies on that Samoan drop. Because granted, she can catch her opponents by surprise, but also inflict as much damage as she can, but the second she drops her whole body. Because from what I understand, Ruth Logan had said in an interview that her Samoan drop is a lot different from others, because you see, granted, she does throw her opponents into the air for a few feet, well, before dropping them onto the back in typical Samoan drop fashion, but she said that she also puts all of her body weight when dropping her opponent on their back. And not just her body weight, it's dead body weight seen again, and you just seen exactly right in front of your very eyes, covered now by Ruth Logan. And a kick out again by Jessica Dean. And that just goes to show you that Dean does have that fighting spirit and not attempting to go down without a fight. But the same thing does apply to Reese Logan. Reese very much just realizing at the fact that the Jessica Dean may just be a stronger opponent than she realizes, and might actually be able to face off against her. Now, as I'm looking at it from backstage, that for Reese Logan, not Reese Logan, but for Brittany Turner had said something about, well, Jessica Dean in terms of her first match, and Reese Logan happily insists. Now, going for pretty much, he calls that the Reese driver. Ref count is already at 8, and both women need to get themselves back in the ring at the ref. Then a final warning, the Imperial DDT onto Jessica Dean after Reese makes it back in the ring in time, as the match will be called off by countout. Reese Logan will be your winner in this debut match against Jessica Dean, or at least in Jessica Dean's debut match. Alright, what's next? And as I'm looking at my phone here, oh, this match should be very interesting. Right, and that match here will be Mascara D. Calavera versus Emily Crawford. Another in-ring debut, well, for those that are unaware. Now, I will say this, but Emily Crawford is actually IRL friends with Jessica Dean. Well, as Crawford has said that for her and her friends, they both signed up to the EWL around the same time. But I'm not talking about that because the high-flying sheriff of the EWL, that being Mascara D. Calavera, is here. And he is ready to bring justice to the cruiserweight division, if we ever have one. Oh, and did I say if we ever have a cruiserweight division? Well, do I have some good news? A cruiserweight division for the EWL is in the making. Now, the estimated time for when the cruiserweight roster will be complete, I have no fucking clue. But hopefully, it will be rather soon. Hopefully, in time before WrestleMania 41 IRL. So, fingers crossed I can get it done. And also, as I just got told by one of our cameramen, Emily Crawford then made her debut within the EWL. Well, this is just her secondary match in the company. And another cameraman has said that Emily Crawford is cute as hell. But although she may be cute, she can be very lethal in ring. And they're actually kind of right. Well, believe it or not. Because do not let Emily Crawford's look, personality, and attitude fool you. This woman here knows how to fight. Well, as I'm looking at it here, as she said that she does have 3+ years of in-ring experience. With her obviously being in multiple indie promotions, and her overall success and health She even made a small appearance in the WWE in terms of her being a jobber, but she is the type of jobber that is loved by fans. And now, here she is, many years later, showing up, well, as part of the official roster of the women's division in the EWL. So I guess you could say all the hard work she did paid off. And now she gets to fight pretty much one of the second best high flyers in the EWL. And why do I say the second best high flyer? Well, because in my opinion, one of the best high flyers in the EWL would be Exile. However, last time we heard about Exile, he was, if I want to assume, last time we seen him was during EWL Danger Zone 3. You know, the last time we seen him was during XWA Danger Zone 3, all the way out in New Jersey. That was the last time we seen Exile in the ring. Now, of course, as well, our executives and GMs are trying to get in contact with Exile. However, unfortunately, we do not have any updates regarding to him at this time. Hopefully, we do get updates about the man soon. So we do send our thoughts and immediate prayers if Exile is going through personal struggles as of right now. But other than that, the man that's holding it down here is Mascara, and I want to assume his friend, Kronos. Now I'm looking through Twitter to see what is going down. And as I already said, that a bunch of people are trying to get in contact with Exile, and it's not working. Covered by Mascara, and took out by Emily Crawford. Recovered by Emily Crawford, kicked out at 1. Also, sorry, pretty much the commentary headphones seem to cut off. Covered now by NASCAR. Kick that up too. Now so far, not looking well because now for Emily Crawford, ready to lift up from NASCAR into, I thought would have been a brain buster, but it's a backstabber. Kind of a clever move. And now, Emily Crawford realizing that it might be just over. Now, calling out by Emily Crawford, took out 2, and also I believe the ref now decided to count slow. So far on team anyway, going out by NASCAR. Hold on, I'm getting a call from one of my executives. Hello? Why, what's up? The EWL Women's Champion? Yeah, what about it? Oh my. Please tell me what you're saying is true. It is? How long will she be staying? This week? Oh, okay, cool. Also, do we have any confirmation on why that attack happened last week? No? Interesting. Anyways, I just seen, well, for Emily Crawford taking the win against NASCAR being a little bit pissed off, and I want to assume rightfully so, for against Emily Crawford, because I believe it was just off of a roll-up. I want to assume.
Role model.
So now, our co-main event for the evening would be Cassidy Walker taking on Jaden Alex, in which he said she's going out in this match alone, as she doesn't want to be accompanied by both of her sisters, because she says she knows she can beat Cassidy Walker in a one-on-one, and she wants to win clean. Now you see, that's the opponent. Well, not opponent, but you see, that's like a star you need to look up to. Another one that you should definitely look up to and possibly invest your stocks in is Cassidy Walker. Now with Cassidy in the ring, here comes Jaden Allen. And which he has his hair tied up in space bun. And I'm already seeing signs here. I'm seeing signs here held up by a fan with saying Jaden Alex is the best for Jaden Alex is the best member of the SWAT team. Prove me otherwise. That is a long ass fucking sign, but they are speaking facts. Some people are saying that Jaden Alex is by far the best member of the SWAT team. It's not even close. But anyways, here we go for our co-main event here tonight in Los Angeles. Now, apologies in advance that tonight's card has been short because this match card happened to be rushed, and I'm sorry ahead of time. Now, pretty much for Jaden, pretty much trying to fight this match out entirely. Now for Cassidy, pretty much trying to at least get Jaden Alex out the mouth for the super cutter of the Cassidy Walker. However, they just saw her attempt to go for the speed trigger and go for the target. And I want to assume that for Cassidy has fought against Jaden Alex before, but not entirely. But I do want to mention this. Granted, Jaden Alex might be one of the smallest, well, not smallest, but one of the shortest members of the SWAT team, but in this match, she actually now has, she pretty much has a fight, but not a fight, but now she has an opponent, of her own size, and that being Cassidy Walker. And did you know, Jaden Alex and Cassidy Walker are almost around the same height, and yes, I did ask both. I did end up asking both. They literally share the same height and same weight. But that's for the simulators. They're not simulators. And they also do tend to have like a complete boost at times. But that's where the similarities end. Now for Cassidy, already back in the ring, just awaiting her opponent to get back in the ring. So I guess for Walker, taking this time to at least sort of return the energy back to the fans. So now for Cassidy, sort of taking any chance she can get going towards the fighters here, and the ref is in the fucking way, but we're not going to be mad. Although the food can has to move to the stage ramp for whatever reason, but not for the ring. Kind of surprising. And Cassidy ended up winning off of the pump handle Walker, for the pump handle Walker down. Cassidy is your winner in this co-main event. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now turn our attention to our final match. Well, to our final match of this evening. And that being Willow taking on La Huracan. Well, La Huracan, which happened to be, well, surprisingly enough, the sister of Amelia Phoenix, which, as I'm making this official, she will be making her EWL in-ring debut next week or this Saturday. So stay tuned for that. So there you see much now pulling up with her classic face paint. Seemed to be somewhat of a fan favorite amongst fans, but we need to address the woman behind her. That is Paige Bailey. And what I want to, well, in which I have been told that Willow and Paige Bailey are a legitimate friends. Because somehow, for Paige Bailey, well, she can understand, well, not only Willow's, well, current mood, well, pretty much her current mood, and everything. Although Willow barely speaks, because she doesn't. It's almost like she speaks like a complete zombie. And then you have the likes of Paige Bailey, who can easily understand her without her talking. We're back. We're back here live in our main event of EWL Onslaught. For the current match you are seeing right now is La Huracan taking on Willow, who is accompanied by Paige Bailey. Which I do want to say Paige Bailey do got that foot on days. And not only that, she also got like a pretty good looking Cuban link on her. In which I do want to assume that should cost like $1,000. Now, if you want to include the, food, that's what's been happening in the damn world, it'll probably cost $1,500. I could be wrong. I don't work at a jewelry store. I wish I did. Anyways, now Huracan rolling up Willow's cover. And to take that at 1. Now, from what I've been told about La Huracan, she has wrestled, well, pretty much in multiple states, multiple countries, and a few vast amounts of arenas. For example, but she has many accomplishments in Arena Mexico. Well, pretty much she has full-on accomplishments within the likes of Lucha Underground, Triple A Lucha Libre, CMLL. Hell, even Stardom. Like, this woman is well collected, and following her accolades, she is highly well known within pretty much the Lucha Libre scene of professional wrestling. So if we're talking about her being stupidly popular, we need to look at the majority of all of her matches that she has done in Japan. Like, this woman is a one of a kind. Now for La Huracan, going off the top for a massive body splash. And also, as I was saying before she did all of that, for La Huracan, she has, how do I want to put it? She has wrestled in the US before. Well, but she's actually wrestled, well, in a Forbidden Door like pay-per-view. As a matter of fact, speaking of Forbidden Door, that's what she made her first appearance in the US. And that was in an AEW Forbidden Door like pay-per-view. But ever since then, we haven't seen her back in the US until now. Well, because La Huracan has said that when her contract in Stardom is over, well, she'll be heading, well, to the US. Well, not heading to the US, she'll be heading back to the US to pretty much to be a part of the EWL's roster. Because, granted, there's not a... Now, I could be 100% wrong because clearly I don't dwell into that type of, well, culture in professional wrestling, but in my honest opinion, now, you can go ahead and call bullshit on me for this take, but there's not a whole lot of women's luchadors out there. And from what La Huracan has said, that she's willing to lead the charge for that to change. I mean, that's why we got, well, women like Garcia Vega, Rosa Cien Martinez, Amelia Phoenix, La Huracan, the list goes on. They're covered out by Willow, pretty much. It's at the bottom row last second, but the ref did not see it. Screwed over. Oh my. I'm not sure if that's how Huracan wants to make her debut, but it's whatever. After Willow will take the win. And wait, huh? What? Also these match cards you're seeing here. Also, this will be a short show right here, but the cards you're seeing here are going to be completely edited. Or are going to be completely edited or possibly skipped. And then, yeah, so on and so forth, but wait, what? Hold on, I gotta take this call. Hello? Wait, what? Someone just arrived at the building? Who is it? A shark? Oh! Wait a minute, isn't that Jeff the Land Shark plushie I ordered off of Amazon coming in? Or was that next week? It's not Jeff? What? I could have sworn that Amazon package should have came in here today. Wait. Hold on. Breathe, bro. What are you telling me? Someone else is also backstage? Who? Who's backstage? Jay Parker? What the hell is she doing backstage? Wait. Start over. So you telling me there is a shark, like a living, breathing, swimming shark, well, somewhere in this arena? Like, are you talking about the fish? Or are you talking about someone like Jack Shark? Oh, so you don't want to answer that question. Can you please elaborate on who is exactly backstage other than Jay Parker? Look at the stage ramp. Wait, hold on, I'm getting another call. I'll call you back. Yes, but this is yes, this is the commentator speaking. An ambush went on outside? What? Okay, so I just got word from backstage was that a shark has entered the battlefield. That's Rachel Mako! What the hell is she doing here? But because I did end up getting a text on my phone saying something about a shark attack, but I never expected it would be her showing up so soon. So what the hell is she supposed to be doing, like attacking Jay Parker? She just got here. So now for Jay Parker, pretty much having no choice but to fight back with every fiber of her body. If she still has any fiber in her body after this ambush. But now, for Jay Parker, pretty much going up against, like, I don't even know what you would call this. I don't even know, should we even call her a human, or this is like some sort of hybrid or something? I really don't know. I mean, she does look kind of cool though, I will give you that. But anyways, like, what in the blue hell is going on? And like, I have no choice but to commentate over this, but for Jake Parker getting a little bit of an unwanted surprise here tonight in Los Angeles. And keep in mind, this is happening, well, outside in the parking lot as of right now. And yes, we do have cameras in the parking lot, but we're literally are showing this inside of the arena, and fans are just, oh no. Oh no. I do not like what Mako is thinking. She had the back door of the ambulance open. But thankfully no one is inside that ambulance, so we should be good. But they have a DDT. Well, by Rachel Mako. So now, if I'm remembering correctly, that is her name. And she would be known, well, she's actually known to be one of indie wrestling, well, not indie wrestling, she's pretty much considered to be one of the, well, she's considered to be the women's division's, well, apex predator. Or in this case, the killer from the Great Blue Sea. So now, which I want to assume could be trouble after Mako grabbing a steel chair, wanting Jay Parker to get back up. And here comes Jay to try and fight back against this unwanted threat. And that security is pretty much on, that security is on high alert. We're pretty much trying to get these two separated, but this is not even happening inside the arena. This is like happening outside. I don't know what is going on. But they end up bringing this, match, well, to the, well, not match, but they end up bringing this so-called first encounter to the inside. It's only going to get worse. So for Jay Parker, as he only expected to actually be here, to pretty much talk about potential matches that she could be on for next week. But she never expected to end up meeting. Oh God! Well, Mako pretty much just decided to say hello. But the slam that Mako just did onto Jay Parker on the little edge, well, on the sidewalk. Jeez. Someone definitely not going to be happy, but now being thrown on top of the flower bed or some sort. But after Jay Parker might be a little bit of trouble being kicked off of the flower bed, landing on the concrete. That is definitely going to leave a mark. So now, you know, as for Mako, look at it, I heard target and going. Is that an Operation Dragon on Jay Parker? Like what? Like what is Mako here for now? I think I know exactly what Mako is trying to target. She's trying to target for the ambulance with sending Jay Parker packing. I don't know, like, if this is a good idea or a bad one. Now, throwing her to a side, eyeing that kendo stick. I know people on social media are already going insane, but now, a little bit of a hurricanrana. Like, we don't even know what is this woman here for, or what is her current goal. Like, what? Now, pretty much from Mako, what she's thinking about, she just heard like voices playing in her head. A spear by Jay Parker, and Mako just ended up getting up like nothing happened. After Mako now being thrown across the parking lot by Jay Parker, because for Jay, you're not going down without a fight. And I respect that for Jay Parker, it's pretty much taking matters into her own hands, which there's nothing wrong with it. Oh no. I know exactly what Jay Parker is thinking, and it's not going to be pretty. Oh, thank God. Thank God she wasn't thinking about slamming her into the trunk of the car. Oh, that would just be too graphic to the point where we had to cut our cameras from it. Now, whatever Jay Parker tried to do, try to pretty much drag. Well, I think what you were trying to do was drag Mako away from the parking lot, trying to save everyone else that ended up coming out here, but not there, and a kick. But now, Mako grabbing a steel chair and looking to try to dish out damage onto Jay Parker. However, it doesn't work. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Further slamming her down almost head first into the scaffolding. But Mako said, nah, I want more. And now Mako dragging Jay Parker back towards the forward edge and I think that's a forward fusion. I don't know. But I know that SUV is a forward edge when I see one. But now over to the blacked out forward edge and now away from it. It's like that both Jay Parker and Rachel Mako know exactly what's bound to happen. Well, if they end up opening one of the doors of the car, somebody could get seriously injured. And we're hoping that doesn't happen here tonight, but now, so Jay Parker grabbing a kendo stick, just waiting for Mako to get back up. And here comes Jay Parker, but for Mako coming in like a bat out of hell. Now just looking to go for a little bit of a spin cycle, slamming her down onto the concrete. Now that does actually make sense why they would call that a sidewalk slam, but we're not here for the joke. We're just here to try and figure out what the hell and how the hell did Mako get here. Another Operation Dragon head first into the pavement. Yeah, I don't think Jay Parker is going to be okay after this. You know what? Let me go ahead and get the medical facility on fucking speed dial. So now, for Mako, pretty much eyeing the trunk of the car. Oh no. Oh, no. No! Oh, okay, thank the Lord. After Mako, thought about slamming Jay Parker onto the trunk of the car. That boy just broke her back in like multiple pieces. But now Jay Parker are now looking to take matters into her immediate own hands. She's looking to not to stop for anybody. And now just breaking the candlestick onto the gut of the shark, that being Mako. And I'm being informed on my phone that for Brittany Turner will address this. And by address this, she means she's staying out of it, because if there's one thing about sharks, whenever there's a shark attack, do not involve yourself in it or you'll be next on their menu. And you know what? As much as I hate to say it, Brittany is right. And now, for Jay Parker, looking to pick up Mako and slamming her directly down onto the pavement again. Like, how much more damage can this woman take? It's like she's not even human. And now, for Mako, looking to pick up Jay Parker and just carrying her towards the car again. But now, oh God! And now just slamming Jay Parker pretty much on top of the fourth fusion. And now what is Mako looking for? And whatever it is she's looking for, I don't like it. And now seem to grab a traffic cone. I don't think that. Oh God. Oh no. Oh my Lord. Oh, the ass. Can we even show that on camera? Oh wait, we can? You know, I'm not gonna even ask why do we have permission to show that on camera. I'm just not. Forget I even said anything. But anyways, after Jay Parker on the receiving end of having a traffic cone shoved up her ass, and I wish I was kidding when I fucking say that. But now, Mako pretty much still trying to at least deliver or at least bring in a statement. It's rated M. Nah, bro. It's rated M, R, PG-13. Fuck it, all of it. Except for rated X. We don't do that. And now, Rachel Maddow, they're going not one, but for two. Well, playing with Operation Dragons. Like, damn. Like, she must love doing that move or something. Bauer for Jay Parker. They're trying to tackle, well, Mako to the ground. Well, of some sort. And now they're over almost damn near to the ambulance again. And now for Jay Parker picking up a traffic cone. Saying, so you want to use a traffic cone as a weapon? Fine. I'll do the same. However, for Mako, they're realizing that's not going to happen. Face buster onto the pavement. Now Mako, oh no, not again. Please don't be thinking what I think you're doing. For Mako, what has the traffic cone in the palm of her hands. However, being grabbed by Jay Parker, it's like that for both of these women, well, are just straight up refusing. I don't like where any of this is going by any means, but no security is being sent out, which there should have, but not in the lights of it. And not only that, the fact that Mako is already in full gear, pun intended to AEW, well, not to be pun intended with AEW full gear, but with whatever's happening, oh no. Well, and just down goes Jay Parker. And for some reason, I have a feeling that Mako is just a fan of traffic cones. But after Parker immediately getting up and now looking to say that you should never have attacked me, another tackle was straight onto the body, well, of Mako. But I don't know, how would this even end? Well, the cameras are still rolling. And I guess this pretty much, this whole brawl could just go to the end of time with the way these women are fighting. But now, now for Mako, bringing Jay Parker to the stage equipment, dropping her head first, well, onto the stage equipment, just put conveniently right outside. Okay, I'm trying to figure out who the fuck was in charge of doing that, but more on that later. Now for Mako, pretty much still keeping the love of a fight going. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what is she even here for? And what is her current motive? And now, Jay Parker seeming to try and drag the Rachel Mako towards that chair, then trying to slam her down, back first onto the chair, seeming to put down, but a Shark is looking to do it here. And Jay Parker presumably will have put away the land shark. After Lester Creed and everyone else backstage running out, says, Parker, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. But that, I don't know what is she here for, and who she even is, but by damn sure, she's not going to think of attacking me out of nowhere and get away with it. And after Creed started going up to Jay Parker and just telling her, look, just looking at you, you're already badly hurt enough. But you're gonna need medical attention. Agreed. As we join you guys back on commentary, and we don't know exactly what is that woman capable of, nor do we even want to ask, but I'm sure everyone inside of the Intuit Dome is wondering, what is this woman, or what is this woman here for, and what could this mean for the women's division? We do not know, but hopefully we have some answers next week. And with that, we bid you guys farewell, and we see you guys, well, not bid you guys farewell, but we will see you guys next week for EWL's Gridlock. Good night, everybody.